안녕하세요. 4차 산업혁명 기획 3주 3차 시강의를 시작하겠습니다. 이번 시간에는 새로운 컴퓨팅 기술 챕터에서 작고 빠른 컴퓨터의 막대한 영향력 섹션에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 와이저는 가장 근본적인 기술은 형체가 없다. 그런 기술은 일상 속에 녹아들어 일상과 분간할 수 없다고 말했습니다. 모어의 법칙이 지속되어 모든 디지털 기기들에게 적용됨에 따라 디지털 컴퓨터는 더 이상 별도의 물체로 취급되지 않습니다. 오늘날 컴퓨터는 자동차나 전자제품, 가전제품의 중요한 부품 그 이상입니다. 컴퓨터는 이제 의료에도 삽입되고 있으며 우리 주변의 도로와 가로등, 다리의 빌딩과 같은 인프라에도 정착됩니다. 우리는 이제 컴퓨터가 만든 세상에 살고 있습니다. 새로운 센서와 기계학습 알고리즘 덕분에 우리는 이제 새로운 방식으로 컴퓨터에 접속할 수 있습니다. 음성 명령 시스템과 자연 언어 능력의 발전으로 우리는 이제 스크린과 키보드에서 해방되고 있습니다. 신체 언어, 손과 눈의 제스처를 이해하는 센서는 우리의 의식적인 의도와 무의식적인 의도를 읽어 컴퓨터, 휠체어, 의족과 같은 기계를 움직일 수 있게 합니다. 페이스북은 기계학습 전문가들과 신경보초 전문가들을 포함한 60명의 연구진들이 생각만으로도 컴퓨터에 명령을 내리고 메시지를 전달할 수 있는 방법을 연구 중이라고 발표했습니다.
What if you could type directly from your brain? It sounds impossible, but it's closer than you may realize. The woman in this video has ALS. She is completely trapped inside her body. She cannot move or speak, but she is typing with her mind, not with eye blanks, with her mind. An array of electrodes the size of a pea has been implanted where her brain would normally control her motor functions. The electrodes record her neurons firing when she imagines moving the cursor. Then the computer learns to move it for her. Using this system, she can type 8 words per minute. So what if instead of using imagined arm movements, we could decode speech directly? Now, to be clear, we are not talking about decoding your random thoughts. That might be more than any of us care to know. A silent speech interface, one with all the speed and flexibility of voice, but with the privacy of typed text. Better yet, with the ability to text a friend without taking out your phone, or to send a quick email without missing the party. We've assembled a team of more than 60 scientists, engineers, and system integrators, and we're just getting started. We have a goal of creating a system capable of typing 100 words per minute, 5 times faster than you can type on your smartphone, straight from your brain. It gets better because your brain activity contains more information than what a word sounds like or how it is spelled. In your brain, a cup is not the label cup. It is a man-made object that you can hold in your hand, one that carries liquid for people to consume. Understanding semantics means that one day you may be able to choose to share your thoughts independent of language. English, Spanish, or Mandarin, they become the same. After all, the word cup or taza or chabe is just a compressed thought.
이처럼 컴퓨터에 접속하는 다양한 기술들은 새로운 멀티태스킹 및 정보 처리 방식을 제공할 것입니다. 증강현실 안경과 같은 웨어러블 디바이스는 우리 몸의 신체적 한계를 뛰어넘는 이식 가능한 마이크로칩으로 점점 대체되고 있습니다. 이런 기술 발전은 통합치료 시스템부터 인간의 신체 능력 강화에 이르기까지 흥미로운 가능성을 제시합니다. 바이오 컴퓨팅의 발전으로 특수 제작된 마이크로칩을 유기체에 이식해 맞춤형 유기체를 만드는 날이 올 것입니다. 바로 바이오 해킹이라고 불리는 새로운 문화와 소비 행위입니다. MIT 연구진은 센서, 메모리 스위치, 회로가 인간의 장내 세균에 코딩될 수 있다는 것을 시연했고, 이는 우리 신체가 염증성 장질환이나 대장암을 발견하고 치료할 수 있도록 설계될 수 있다는 것을 뜻합니다. 이런 잠재적 혜택에는 위험과 과제가 따릅니다. 디지털 세계에서 생성된 방대한 정보를 저장하기 위해서는 고밀도 장기 저장이 가능한 새로운 접근법이 필요합니다. 해결책 가운데 하나는 바로 DNA의 정보를 저장하는 것입니다.
So I'm just going to go ahead. We are using DNA as a storage medium for digital data. And the reason we're doing that is because DNA is very dense. You can put a lot of data in a small volume. To give you an idea, the whole accessible internet is estimated to be about 700 exabytes, and that would fit in the size of a shoebox.
So last year, we stored hundreds of kilobytes of data in DNA and fully recovered that. This year, we're working with hundreds of megabytes of data, which means 1,000 times more DNA.
In building the world record, we've worked with Twist Bioscience to synthesize 200 megabytes of data, which is well beyond anything that's been synthesized to date. Along with the collaboration with the University of Washington, we've demonstrated that we're able to recover data built out of 1.5 billion nucleotides.
The growth that we're experiencing in our global data centers is truly astounding. It's a challenge not only in creating new technologies to deal with it, but in actually inventing the new science to form a foundation for the future. DNA storage gives us that new foundation, and this is exactly the kind of problem that Microsoft Research was built to solve.
특히 극한 상황에서 유비쿼터스 컴퓨팅은 세계를 더욱 취약하게 만들 수 있습니다. 컴퓨팅 시스템이 항상 가동되도록 유지하려면 전력난의 위험이 제기됩니다. 이런 전력난은 중대한 과제를 야기합니다. 기초적이고 수동적인 고장 대처 시스템에 익숙하지 않을수록 이런 위기는 더 부정적 결과를 낳을 수 있습니다. 전례 없는 유비쿼터스 컴퓨팅은 사회적으로도 큰 영향력을 끼칠 것이 확실합니다. 이미 더 작고 빠른 컴퓨터들은 인간의 행동 양식을 바꿔 놓았습니다. 예를 들어 테이블에 스마트폰이 있는 것만으로도 상대와의 대화에 대한 몰입도가 낮아지고 대화의 세세한 내용을 기억할 가능성 역시 낮아집니다. 또한 소셜미디어는 젊은 사람들의 공감 능력이 떨어지는 것과 관련이 있습니다. 컴퓨팅 기술이 계속해서 확장되면서 환경은 더 큰 외부 효과에 노출될 것입니다. 경제적 지속 가능성을 염두에 두면서 우리가 현재 구축하고 있는 시스템의 한계를 인지하는 것이 중요합니다. 클라우드가 상업적으로 활용되기 시작한 것은 오래되지 않았지만 더 크고 더 효율적인 중앙 데이터 센터가 속속 등장하면서 보안과 사생활 보호에 대한 우려가 커지고 있는 상황입니다. 우리는 데이터를 어디에 어떻게 저장할지, 관련 비용이 얼마나 증가할지에 대해서 창의적으로 생각할 필요가 있습니다.
A data center is the brains of the internet.
The engine of the internet.
It is a giant building with a lot of power, a lot of cooling, and a lot of computers.
It's row upon row upon row of machines, all working together to provide the services that make Google function.
I love building and operating data centers. I'm Joe Cava, Vice President of Data Centers at Google. This data center here in South Carolina is one node in a larger network of data centers all over the world. Of all the employees at Google, a very, very small percentage of those employees are authorized to even enter a data center campus. The men and women that run these data centers and keep them up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they are incredibly passionate about what they're doing.
In layman's terms, what do I do here?
I typically refer to myself as the herder of cats.
And I'm an engineer, hardware site operations manager.
We keep the lights on, and we enjoy doing it.
And they work very hard. So we like to provide them a fun environment where they can also play hard as well.
We just
went past the 3 million man-hour mark for zero lost time incidents. 3 million man-hours is a really long time, and with the number of people that we have on site, that is an amazing accomplishment.
I think the Google data centers really can offer a level of security that almost no other company can match. We have a information security team that is truly second to none. You have the expression, they wrote the book on that. Well, there are many of our information security team members that have really written the books on best practices in information security. Protecting the security and the privacy of our users' information is our foremost design criteria. We use various layers of higher level security the closer into the center of the campus you get. So just to enter this campus, my badge had to be on a pre-authorized access list. Then to come into the building, that was another level of security. To get into the secure corridor, which leads to the data center, that's a higher level of security. And the data center and the networking rooms are the highest level of security. And the technologies we use are different. Like for instance, in our highest level areas, we even use underfloor intrusion detection via laser beams. So I'm going to demonstrate going into the secure corridor now. One, I have to be on the authorized list with my badge. And then two, I use a biometric iris scanner to verify that it truly is me. Okay, here we are on the data center floor. The first thing that I notice is that it's a little warm in here. It's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Google runs our data centers warmer than most because it helps with the efficiency. You'll notice that we have overhead power distribution. Coming from the outside yard, we bring in the high voltage power, distribute across the bus bars to all of the customized bus taps that are basically plugs where we plug in all the extension cords. All of our racks don't really look like a traditional server rack. These are custom designed and built for Google so that we can optimize the servers for hyper efficiency and high performance computing. It's true that sometimes drives fail and we have to replace them to upgrade them because maybe they're just no longer efficient to run. We have a very thorough end-to-end chain of custody process for managing those drives from the time that they're checked out to the server till they're brought to an ultra-secure cage where they're erased and crushed if necessary. So any drive that can't be verified as 100% clean, we crush it first, and then we take it to an industrial wood chipper where it's shredded into these little pieces like this. In the time that I've been at Google for almost 6.5 years now, we have changed our cooling technologies at least 5 times. Most data centers have air conditioning units along the perimeter walls that force cold air under the floor that then raises up in front of the servers and cools the servers. In our solution, we take the server racks and we butt it right up against our air conditioning unit. We just use cool water flowing through those copper coils that you see there. So the hot air from the servers is contained in that hot aisle. It raises up, passes across those coils, where the heat from the air transfers to the water in those coils, and then that warm water is then brought outside the data center to our cooling plant, where it is cooled down through our cooling towers and returned back to the data center, and that process just repeats over and over again. To me, the thing that amazes me about Google and the data centers is the pace of innovation and always challenging the way we're doing things. So when people say that innovation in a certain area is done, that we've kind of reached the pinnacle of what can be achieved, I just laugh.
또 다른 중요한 문제로 접속의 평등이 있습니다. 새로운 컴퓨팅 기술의 발전과 활용은 크고 부유한 시장, 풍부한 인적 자본, 대규모 투자 자금을 확보할 능력이 있는 선진국에서 일어나는 경향이 있습니다. 하지만 4차 산업혁명이 많은 사람들에게 혜택을 제공하기 위해서는 비용이 적게 들고 다양한 환경에서도 작동이 가능한 컴퓨팅 기술을 개발해야 합니다. 이런 컴퓨팅 기술은 전력 공급이 불안정하고 기온 변화가 심한 곳에서도 심지어 방사능 위협이 도사리는 환경에서도 작동되어야 합니다.
Representatives from the avionics and defense industry came to TI with a need for lower-cost products that did not sacrifice quality, reliability, or long lifetime performance. Our solution was to create a new upscreen standard we call enhanced products. This is a portfolio of ruggedized cots as an alternative to traditional Class Q ceramic components commonly found in critical applications. We established the upscreen qualification spec out of these market needs.
TI's rugged EP products can be found in critical applications for harsh environments such as wing sensors, engine control, landing gears, radar, and other defense systems, as well as industrial systems such as high-speed trains, track sensor systems, and critical medical applications.
TI's enhanced products can withstand temperature ranges of -55 to 125 C and are designed to have extremely long lifetimes with low obsolescence risk. Our manufacturing process features a control baseline for removal of variabilities and rugged material sets to further enhance product lifetimes.
전 세계 사람들이 컴퓨터를 보다 편하게 사용할 수 있도록 설계된 저가의 고성능 컴퓨터인 라즈베리 파이가 있습니다. 다양한 조건에서 사용 가능한 컴퓨터를 개발하는 것은 새로운 컴퓨팅 기술에서 파생되는 혜택의 분배 방식을 구체화하는 데 있어서 작은 부분에 불과합니다. 혁신 기술의 혜택은 대개 선두주자들에게 집중됩니다. 경제적, 사회적, 신체적으로 취약한 사람들이 새로운 도구를 사용할 수 있게 하려면 특별한 노력이 필요합니다. 새로운 범용 기술로 인한 경제적 혜택을 공유하려면 반드시 해결해야 되는 문제입니다. 이는 꼭 공정한 세금의 문제만이 아니라 경쟁 정책과 소비자 권리에 대한 문제이기도 합니다. 컴퓨팅 기술 발전의 최전선에 서게 되면 슈퍼 플랫폼을 활용해 모든 가치치 인상에서 방대한 힘을 발휘할 수 있습니다. 일례로 특수화된 프로세서를 사용하고 엄청난 양의 데이터에 접속하는 능력은 소비자들 사이에서 가격 차이를 가져올 것이고 그 기술의 혜택을 받지 못하는 경쟁자들은 결국 파산할 것입니다. 끝으로 제도와 기술에 대한 신뢰가 위협받고 있습니다. 컴퓨터가 우리의 일상에 녹아들어 우리의 일상과 분간할 수 없게 되면서 사생활 보호는 시민, 정부, 기업사의 신뢰를 회복하는 데 필수가 되었습니다. 다음은 왜 세계 인류 기업들이 마인드 리딩 테크놀로지에 관심을 가지는지에 대한 동영상입니다.
So if we really could have an interface with a computer, with an artificial intelligence that could read our minds, you can imagine a case in which we could be immortal. But that would completely change humanity and what it means to be human.
Merging the human brain with a computer would truly change our species forever. Researchers are developing technology that can transfer data between computers and our brains, and even read people's minds. For now, we have the power to detect brain waves and track electrical pulses within the neurons in our brains, and researchers are using this information, however vague, to aid the differently abled and make life easier for everyone. Among these researchers is 16-year-old Alex Pinkerton.
Really, all that we're working on is a brain-computer interface that utilizes graphene, and hopefully, if our math is correct, it'll be sensitive enough to read the magnetic fields of human thought.
It was in the 1970s that the Department of Defense first started funding brain-computer interface research. That market is expected to reach a value of $1.72 billion by 2022. Big players like Elon Musk and Facebook have teased their entrance into the market while other companies are showing their work in action, like Control Labs, who created a wristband that measures electrical pulses from the brain to the neurons in a person's arm, allowing them to control a computer. New and exciting research is pouring out of universities like MIT and the University of California in San Francisco. So what is a brain-computer interface?
It's a way in which a computer can take information directly from the brain without you having to type or speak it in and translate that into some kind of action.
That's what Pinkerton is working on, a connection between the brain and a device, like your phone or a prosthesis. He was first inspired by his dad, who works on clean energy.
My dad came in to talk to our class when I was in 3rd grade about graphene, just to give a little presentation. I'm not sure why, but that sort of sparked my interest, and I had just been thinking of like, why isn't this being used everywhere if it's like the perfect material? And so I started thinking of applications, and at first it was mainly like for the military or something. Now it's sort of focused away from that into, well, the brain-computer interface and like VR, maybe super immersive VR. Obviously it could help the disabled.
Pinkerton is the co-founder and CEO of Brain Interface. For the past few years, he has been spending his holiday breaks and the occasional weekend in his dad's lab, working on his graphene brain-computer interface.
지금까지의 시청으로 이번 자시 수업이 인정됩니다. 어펜딕스에는 마인드 리딩 테크놀로지에 대한 추가 정보가 제공되어 있습니다.
I was just at my dad's office after school, and we used a program called MathCAD just to type in a bunch of numbers to fit the characteristics of graphene for a brain interface. And at first, it wasn't working, and so we just kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until it finally was able to get to the low magnetic fields of human thought.
Graphene is an almost impossibly thin layer of carbon, only a single atom thick.
We've finished 2 prototypes that haven't utilized graphene. It's just Mylar, which is basically just saran wrap. The first prototype can reach 10 to the minus 3 Tesla, second prototype 10 to the minus 6, so really nowhere near. But this new graphene prototype that's about halfway done, if our math is correct, we'll be able to reach 10 to the minus 15, which is the level of human thought that we need to have for a successful brain interface.
The goal is to have a computer-brain interface that is small enough to fit in an earbud or the inside of a hat that will allow users to use thoughts to control physical devices, like playing music on their phones or to control a prosthesis.
People know that it could be used for all these amazing things, but they really haven't found the killer application, and I think that's what we've done.
His goal is to keep the cost down so the technology can be available to anyone.
So right now, a lot of brain interface technology is super cumbersome, inefficient, or expensive. So we're hoping to get all 3 of those things sort of out of the way. It's basically, it can fit in an earbud, it can read the magnetic fields of human thought with no problem, and it's relatively inexpensive. You can imagine how good that could be for disabled people. They could move robotic arms just by wearing the earbuds and thinking about it instead of having, well, basically their skull opened up and electrodes put on their brain.
Elon Musk's version of this technology might be one of those skull-opening options. Neuralink, a company co-founded by Musk, is working to add a digital, quote, third layer above the cortex that would work well and symbiotically with you.
The purpose of Neuralink is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI.
The Neuralink website has been little more than a list of job applications for a while, and an update has been teased as, quote, coming soon for months. But this technology would supposedly require invasive surgery.
What it seems that they've done is they've taken rats and they've implanted this kind of grid of electrodes, but they've done it using a technique that they call like a sewing machine, which seems to like put these electrodes in really, really quickly, because you have to be really specific when you plant these electrodes. But ultimately what it seems to be for is a way of sort of linking brain activity in these rats to some kind of a computer and possibly to each other.
And the envelope keeps getting pushed further. A recent breakthrough at the University of California in San Francisco showed how researchers can read the brain's signals to the larynx, jaw, lips, and tongue, and translate them through a computer to synthesize speech.
The print that you're seeing is available in words.
And in 2018, MIT revealed their alter ego device, which measures neuromuscular signals in the jaw to allow humans to converse in natural language with machines simply by articulating words internally. But how can you recognize certain brainwaves? How can you filter out the play music command over the constant noise of thoughts and brainwaves?
So when someone says they have a tool measuring brain waves, the first thing I want to ask is, how do you know they're actually brain waves, as opposed to just some electrical changes that happen from the head and neck? Like, for example, from the cranial nerves, the nerves that innervate the head and neck and help you blink or feel your face. Because the signals from deep inside the brain are harder to get at.
See, in the examples from the University of California in San Francisco and MIT, both studies focused on computers working out a person's intentions by matching brain signals to physical movements that would usually activate in a person's vocal tract or jaw. They're using signals that would usually trigger muscles to simulate what the body would do. The deep internal thoughts and processes within our brain are still quite elusive.
Let's say that we're trying to create a device that allows us to play music from our Sonos or some speaker system in our house, right? So how I would imagine telling the Sonos to do that versus how someone else would might be pretty different. But you could train me to do it.
And that is exactly Pinkerton's intent.
And you can kind of almost teach the brain to do specific things over and over again.
Now, this is not entirely new information. We've been hooking brains up to machines to read electrical activity since the 1920s. And brain-computer interfaces?
These are tools that people have been working on since the 1970s. And there are still a lot of hurdles in terms of making them commercially available. For a lot of these tools, you actually need to sit very still and you need to keep very still. And so that doesn't have a lot of real-world application. So I think that limitation is something that a lot of these engineers really are facing, is how do you continue to distinguish signal from noise when the person is moving? That's a major problem. But I feel like in the last 10 years, there's been a lot more interest in terms of commercial companies trying to create a product that allows this to happen. So, the example is virtual reality. I think that is a pretty clear way in which a BCI might be helpful.
Brain Interface said it has been approached by several technology and investment companies, but plans to finish its prototype later this year before seeking those opportunities.